Welcome to Fluff exhibition and welcome back to.
It might be helpful to have the mic right down here if I'm speaking to you guys. And welcome back to another reading. We finished the 5:30 last time, and it's a nice rainy day. And we know how on this channel we like when our rainy days happen when we read SCP, because that's exactly when everything just goes well. It's just everything just goes exactly the way we want to. We imagine fucking heads popping around the corner. That shit opens up by itself. Rainy days is SCP day. Okay, so the first one of the four, problem with the 540s is called Tannenbaum. Now, I'm wondering if this is supposed to be a word joke with the German word of pine tree, which is Tannenbaum. But yeah, it's Tannen, so the pine, and Baum. I wonder if that's a joke on that. I have my G Fuel already ready to go. I won't do any mistakes. Oh, it's a decent number for safe. Okay. Okay. Special containment procedures. All instances of SCP-540 are to be handled and stored according to standard protocols for similar non-anomalous live munitions, with the exception that all locations housing SCP-540 are to be equipped with secondary overhead sprinkler system capable of dousing any given room with herbaceous compound H4540 IB9 for LM to a depth of 10 centimeters in less than 90 seconds. So combustion is a possibility. I'm sorry that the glasses reflect both of my screen, so whenever I look at you guys, all you see is just yeah. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, so combustion is a possibility with this SCP. It has bombs in the name. But what is it? All armories that contain SCP-540 are to be located in a minimum of 15 meters below ground. Why am I so obsessed with saying 4 to 5? I don't know why. That's only with SCPs as well. It never happens anywhere else. When I'm reading this, that's the only time it happens. Below ground, with monitoring and testing facilities located above ground as part of Site 74-A. A secondary site, designated Site 74-B, is located 117 kilometers away and is maintained a fleet of firefighting aircraft, including no fewer than 10 air tankers. In the event of a partial or full containment breach of SCP-540 affecting more than 0.5 kilometers per square kilometers of above ground land, this fleet is to be loaded with a variety of defoliants and herbicides, including Agent Orange and solutions of sodium chloride, and proceed to inundate all areas affected by SCP-540. So, looks like having a big ring of fire or just a big combustion area of fire is very likely, even though it is considered a safe SCP, which can only mean one thing. Even though there's a high chance for what they describe basically as a forest fire, it seems the fact that it's safe means that it must be activated. I assume it must be activated. It probably is like a bomb that you have to like Killer Queen! Well, let's find out. Description: SCP-540 denotes a collection of Soviet-era explosive ordnance of various makes. All instances can be detonated in the same manner as non-anomalous examples and explode with a similar yield and blast effect. However, approximately 35 to 37 seconds following the detonation, a mass of plant life will rapidly grow to cover the majority of the damaged area. And now footnotes: all testing to date has resulted in plant life covering a minimum of 90% of the damaged areas. Okay. Interesting. The initial growth rate of the plant life is possibly correlated to the yield of the originating explosive, but returns to normal for the plant species after approximately 90 seconds. There are currently blank instances of SCP-540 in Foundation possession and an unknown number outside of Foundation control. I gotta say, Mr. Beast would have loved this thing to plant his 20 million trees. Yeah, just blow shit up. It grows faster this way. Yeah, it looks like the plants just stay there. So yeah, I don't see how this is a bad thing. I mean, yes, there's explosions and there's probably like some. Oh, but they did say like herbicides, right? Isn't that herbicides meant to destroy plants? So okay. SB540 was discovered in an abandoned munition depot near blank, Ukraine on blank by 1999, following investigation of reports of an unusual amount of non-native plant life appearing in the surrounding areas within a short period of time. At time of discovery, the depot had suffered significant looting, with only one portion of the armory undisturbed. Initial testing of munitions recovered from the depot indicated that only approximately 30% of munitions were actually instances of SCP-540. How, like, man, trying to figure out like which instances are an SCP and which are just normal weapons always intrigue me in this kind of scenario. Like, how do you test that? How do you know? It's like a marking on, like, because in this case you can't blow them up, because then you know. Then you're using the SCP like without like any like regulations or schedule or a team. So how do they know in this case? It's like the SCP one doesn't look a tiny, like a small minor difference, or what happens? We never know. However, instances of SCP-540 are indistinguishable from non-anomalous. See the fuck, indistinguishable from non-anomalous ordnance and were randomly dispersed among the non-anomalous munitions found in the originating deposit. Yeah. As such, all munitions recovered have been designated SCP-540 as a precaution. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So they took all of them in and probably tested most of them and realized that some of them are just normal munition. Instances in containment range from hand grenades to single nuclear device resembling a modified version of the Tsar bomber, with an estimated minimum yield of 75 megatons. Based on current analysis, it is predicted that should this nuclear device possess anomalous properties, its detonation would result in a GK-class hostile greenhouse scenario over a minimum of 1/3 of habitable land worldwide. Damn. Attempts to disassemble low-yield instances of SCP-540 for analysis have resulted in premature detonation and resultant plant growth in approximately 50% of all such attempts. Instances that were successfully disassembled, then reassembled, and detonated did not display any anomalous properties. Testing log excerpt. So we have a RGO hand grenade. By the way, I'm not an expert on weapons, so all these like specific names I don't know. I just know, like, yeah, shotgun, pistol, sniper, assault rifle, and so on and so forth. That's all I will understand. But if the moment you add like an RG, anything like that, I'll be like, whatever that is. But yeah, RGO hand grenade, 3.1 meters cubed of dandelions, Taxacum officinal in full bloom. Okay, PFM 1 landmine buried, 12.8 meters cubed of sawtooth sedge, Caladium mariscus, averaging 2.2 meters in height. Well, that's tall, damn. 9K 115-2 Metis M anti-tank missile, single black oak tree, Quercus calogi, height 70 meters, diameter 0.96 meters. OTR 23 Oka 9 M714K tactical ballistic missile, detonated without launch. Force of Douglas Sphere Pseudotsuka Menziesi, covering 19.3. Oh god. That's 193,000 meters cubed. That is big. Woo! That's massive. That's a massive amount of what is it? Douglas Sphere. How does Douglas Sphere look like? Douglas Sphere. Oh, it's just basically okay. Evergreen confidence species in the pine family. Okay. Again, it doesn't seem like I mean, yeah, the G class hostile greenhouse scenario, that is bad. But from what we can read here, that nothing of. It doesn't seem like the plants itself decides to attack people or like do anything, unless instead of oxygen they produce nitrogen or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, okay. A bomb that creates plants. That actually sounds like a really cool idea for like a game. Like I don't know, like in a MOBA, just like a bomb and then like a wall of trees that just blocks people. So like the initial damage is it's an offensive and defensive ability. Like you throw it, it explodes. That's the offensive part. It does damage, and then in that part that explodes, there's just obstacles, which is the defensive part, like a wall creating mechanism. Okay, that was not too bad. Living thoracic system. Is that how you say it? Pronunciation. Oh no, hey, excuse me.
Thoracic.
Yeah, thoracic. Thoracic.
Thoracic.
Thoracic. Okay. So it says here living thoracic system. And thoracic is what? Sorry, I have to do research. Not every English word is common to me. Is it the thoracic spine is located in the the spine area. Okay. Living thoracic system. Neutralized. It was Euclid and saved and neutralized. Okay, so they got rid of it. It also is lower rated, but let's see what it has to say for itself. Special containment procedures. SCP-541 was kept in a plain pipe wood coffin, some 1.98 meters, 6.5 feet in length and width, with a stereotypical hexagonal construction. The lid to this coffin was kept affixed by means of 4 padlocks for relative easy access to its contents. Keys were in the possession of the on-site level 3 technicians heading research of SCP-541. SCP-541 could be removed from its coffin with care. The coffin could be moved with minimal limitations and security measures and provided by large suitable for continued containment storage of SCP-541. Okay. Since I know, like my head cannot really make an image of like the title itself, like unlike the SCP we just had, the tunnel bombs. But let's see what this is. We also see a bunch of documents down here. Description: SCP-541 was discovered in blank Peru in 1988 in the crypt of a local Catholic mission. The mission had been repurposed for several decades, and at the time of SCP-541's discovery was being converted into a youth hostel. The crypt beneath was being cleared of for storage, with the corpses within being reburied locally. Never build something on top of a graveyard kind of deal. I feel like that's always a bad choice. But also like reburying corpses, I'm not sure if that's like a bad juju as well. Maybe. SCP-541 was discovered when the workers moving the coffin containing SCP-541 noticed wet noises coming from within. It's kind of like the man, a lot of JoJo's reference happening in a short period of time, like the Dio moment where like they moved the coffin and they heard like something coming inside from the coffin, but they didn't dare to open it. Investigation revealed SCP-541 led to local hysteria, then a brief fanatical following of SCP-541, believing it to be a supernatural or possible saintly akin to incorruptibility. The resultant intention led to the cursory investigation by our agents, followed by a total media blackout, confiscation of SCP-541, and extermination of those close to the object. Okay, so it's serious. It's some serious business. They didn't give amnestics. They immediately like killed people that knew about it. SCP-541 is an intact set of human thoracic organs, including the lungs, heart, digestive system, etc. Notably, the organs operate in a grotesque but accurate imitation of an ordinary human body. Imagine just opening up and all you see is just that. Just... You're like, okay, just close the lid again. Blood pumped the esophagus, performed peristalsis, and it appeared that the organism as a whole did not decay like normal organs did. What happened to SCP-541's original owner, if there was one, is unknown. The digestive system did operate normally, though there was apparently no need for food. SCP-541 has been sealed for at least several decades before its discovery. Also notable is that the entire system was closed. That is, there was no evidence of blood vessels ever pumping to extremities outside of a general abdominal area, and no indication of body structure. An example, ligaments, nerves, membranes, indicating that a more complete organism was ever intact. Various experiments were performed on SCP-541 to determine more about it and try to assess any use or adaptation for its unique structure. No container beyond the original pine box was deemed necessary. Okay, the freaky idea, the image aside, why did it terminate it? Think about it. The Foundation doesn't terminate things so easily. Like, they don't just terminate. Like, if they find it's useless, usually they still keep it around just in case. So, the only thing I can imagine is that thing did something that warranted termination, or it somehow actually passed away. That could also be it. So, document 1. Blood was drawn from SCP-541 system in small quantities to reflect the amount of blood estimated to be present in the system. The sterile needle wound healed itself, though an apparently normal white blood cell palliative mechanism not though. And after several repeated intermittent blood drawings, researchers approximate that the blood replaced itself again to a normal human body. Document 2. Application of basic, easily digestible and nourishing food products to the open esophagus of SCP-541 proved the digestive system works normally, including excretion. Okay, it poops. That's good to know. That's important to know. Those are the important questions. Does it poop? Document 3. Introduction of various stimulants, including caffeine, into SCP-541 system show that the subject responds predictably for its weight and condition. Okay, now we have documents 4 to 13, so either the same tests or same results. A solo test to determine more about nervous communication among the component parts of SCP-541, various scans of the subject to try and learn more about its composition, and a brief battery of measurements to try and compare SCP-541 to the profiles of average complete humans in an attempt to learn more about or approximate its age, height, weight, health. For details on those reports, please contact Dr. Blank. Document 14, Director Blank approves attempt to grow SCP-541, including hormone and steroid introduction, as well as an attempt to culture SCP-541 cells. Results prove inconclusive and on all counts, and testing continues. Document 15 through 18, further testing on SCP-541 concurrent to orders outlined in document 541-14. Results continue to be inconclusive. Some cultures prove promising enough to continue research in the present direction. And the last document is 19. During continued growth, testing SCP-541 goes into arrest and cannot be revived. Following its death, the remains of SCP-541 dissolve into a fine powder within minutes. Cultures stagnate and no clones of SCP-541 are produced. So, yeah, their testing killed it. Addendum: lab technician blank administered a drug dose appropriate for a normal human being of the age, height, weight, and fitness of SCP-541, as determined by tests recounted in document 12 and 13. This proved fatal to SCP-541, as the subject was not a complete organism, and the dosage should have been adjusted accordingly. Technicians was reprimanded and moved to bottom level duties with restricted opportunities for advancement and promotion. That must suck. That must suck for him. Addendum 2, I guess. Fine powder that remains of SCP-541 and coffin are contained at storage site blank. There has been Discussion of attempting to reassemble SCP-541 by the use of SCP-914, no idea, but some concerns have been expressed about whether or not the powder remains of SCP-541 represent the entirety of the subject and whether or not it would be able to survive the shock of reanimation. Wow. It's rare. It's a rare thing that the Foundation accidentally kills an SCP doing testing. It's a very rare thing, but it's always like I understand why he got reprimanded, because like he should have thought more clearly about it. It's not a whole organism. Nah, doesn't matter. It's not a whole organism, so of course it cannot take the same amount of drugs that the normal people in that height, weight can take. But I feel like when you lose an SCP, as in like it gets neutralized, I feel like that's a plus for the Foundation, because it's one less thing to worry about, and also that one less thing to worry about that human beings that outside of the Foundation will ever find out about it. Again, I understand why they had to reprimand him. He has to learn that that quick thinking, or that basic thinking, is not good enough. But still, I feel like at the end, like, one less SCP to worry about, and it should be good. Herr Chirurg. Okay, and in German, Chirurg is that a surgeon in English? In English. Wait. Let me look it up other way around. Oh no, yeah, Chirurg. Okay. No, this is okay. So it's Herr Chirurg. Is that really? Man, I haven't used Chirurg in such a long time. I thought it was Chirurg. Okay, but yeah. So that's German for surgeon. Okay, interesting. Euclid, and it's almost the same as the Tannenbaums. I think Tannenbaums like 3 points different. Oh, excuse me, 4. 4 points. Excuse me. Oh, this is a decent one. Okay. Man, my throat's constantly getting clogged up by something. Okay, Euclid. SCP-542 is to be kept in an 8 by 8 meter squared room with a small adjoining bathroom, and may submit requests for furnishing bearing anything that could be modified into surgical tools. Notable requests by SCP-542 include 1 queen-size bed, no blankets or sheets, bare mattress approved, 2 large work desks approved, 1 large wardrobe approved, a selection of heavy coats, lab jackets and pants approved, several full-length mirrors denied. Okay, probably because you can break the mirror and use the shards to do surgery. It's not a good idea to do it with, but you could. A selection of sewing supplies along with bolts of cloth approved initially, revoked after incident 542B3. Several large bookcases filled with anatomy and medical textbooks, both old and new, approved. A chess set approved. Blank page notebooks and various writing utensils approved. So be careful about the writing utensils. Regular supplies of German language crossword puzzles approved, because if he John Wicks this shit up, then he can do a lot of things with a pencil or a pen. Industrial grade deep sinks denied. Steel nail file denied. Given wooden sandpaper emery board in replacement. Nail clippers denied. Access to his personal surgery kit denied, except in case of testing. See addendum. Okay. So this guy really badly wants to have materials or tools to do surgery with. But why? Why? Is he just obsessed with it? Because that's not an SCP then. That's just a potential psychopath or murderer on the loose. But let's see. The room is to remain locked. Got something. They're bolted and bear with at least 2 Class D guards on duty at any time. SB542 is to be fed 2 meals per day, delivered by Class D personnel, and as per request will be given a transfusion of fresh blood, 1 pint and type per week. Sir, sir, why do you need that blood? Are you a vampire, sir? Sir, are you a vampire? Come on, you can tell us the truth, are you? Come on. It's okay if you are. We all are very open-minded here. I mean, this foundation has a lot of different other freaks. When SCP-542 begins to suffer from organ failure, he may request a fresh organ to be supplied, and Foundation medical personnel will sedate him and perform the surgery. Despite constant requests, SCP-542 may not be allowed to perform invasive surgery upon himself except during observed testing. Old and discarded organs or tissue are to be collected for testing. So he just... How fast does he go through organs? Does he go through organs like fucking McDonald's? Like why? Like, orders McDonald's one time a day and then it's like gone, and then next day he orders another one. Like what is happening? In the event that SCP-542 should escape confinement, SCP-542 may be subdued by high doses of tranquilizers or disabled via a net. Should he come into possession of any knives or shards of glass mirrors that could be used to cut, non-lethal fire is permitted. Does he want to cut on himself? Does he want to like do surgery on himself for whatever reason? I guess that's might be an issue, yeah. But again, if that's all it is, I don't see the problem. Like that's just a guy who just, unless the SCP part of him, that his organs just die at such rapid rates, which that is not normal, then I can see it. But here we go. Description: SCP-542 claims that it has been at one time a typical human of Caucasian descent, identifying as German in nationality. His story is supported by the fact that German appears to be his first language, speaking all other languages with a German accent. SCP-542 requests to be called Herr Chirurg, or surgeon, by staff, and is fluent in German, English, and French, and can speak a small bit of Polish and Italian. Standard IQ tests have revealed 542's IQ to range around 150. Well, he's pretty high, placing him as high intelligence. It is unknown how old 542 is. Testing of various tissue samples have revealed nothing. He claims to have been dreadfully normal before World War I started, and claims to have worked for the Nazi Party, even if he found their goals boringly simple. Okay, that's already... He has been described as a Frankenstein's monster in appearance. SCP-542 may hide his odd features under heavy clothing. Okay, now here we go. Under heavy clothing, but prefers to wear only a nice pair of slacks, revealing his hunched form, distended gut, warped ribcage, and bizarre arm structure. His skin is made from patches of various hues and shades. Some of these heal together with scars, while others are still stitched together. Non-symmetrical bone and muscle structure reveals that he has replaced the majority of his body over time, and admits to having worked with helpers before to replace such things as portion of his own spinal cord. Although his appearance can change with surgery, his arms are always too long for his body, and his hands have been modified greatly to have additional joints in the fingers. Ugh, that must... I want to say that must hurt, but I guess for him it's just normal. An additional, like a 4, like 1, 2, and then 3, and then the knuckles. Ugh. The skin is pulled rather tightly over 542's face, giving him a somewhat skeletal appearance, along with the tendency for his bones to bulge through his skin. His teeth, it should be noted, are collected from different individuals, some of them not even human by all appearances. It is not uncommon for him to cough or to vomit blood, as such requires infusion of fresh blood approximately once per week. He currently boasts 2 hearts and multiples or several other organs and organ systems. Jesus, that burp was like, it felt like the orange juice wanted to come back up. How 542 keeps track of his own structure while performing surgery is unknown, but he likens to having a very good memory. DNA testing on all tissues is inclusive and reveals fragmented DNA. It is unknown how he is able to accept different blood types and multiple organs without suffering from organ rejection or allergic reactions, nor how he is able to function while performing invasive surgery on himself, even while inserting extra brain matter into his skull. SCP-542 is to be kept alive for observation and testing on the process that keeps him alive. Okay. SCP-542 behaves in a surprisingly pleasant manner most of the time, enjoying lengthy conversation about science and biology, politics, and long games of chess. However, when an organ begins to fail or part of his body becomes necrotic, he undergoes a drastic personality change, stalking and observing people from a distance. Additional information on his habits and attacks may be found in the addendum. Oh shit, so yeah, once the organ fails, he's like, I need it! Immediately, like, attacks the next best person just to like, give me your lungs. He's like, no, I kind of need myself, brother. I kind of, I need them to breathe. And I need your lungs to breathe myself, okay? It's like, well, that sounds like a you problem. SCP-542 appears to have a previously unknown ability to be completely aware of his body's functions and workings, constantly even able to identify points of rotting or decay he should not be able to sense by any known means. This ability, however, has been shown to extend beyond his own body. He can passively sense the health and medical status of other humans within several meters of him, the range extending to approximately 5 meters when he focuses. He admits that he uses this process, which he doesn't understand himself, to pick his next victim. He has a bit of a spidey sense, except that it's more of like a key sense, being able to read where people are. Addendum: SCP-542 has been proven to be assailant in a string of 45 murders over the course of 3 years that occurred across Germany, England, and America, and is suspected of an additional unconfirmed 15 murders in that time span. He was first observed 4 years ago by Asian blank in blank Germany after 4 people have been attacked and had muscle, sinew, and bones removed from their limbs. Ay caramba, why would you do that? 3 of the victims died from blood loss and shock. The 4th, blank blank, happened to be staying in the hotel room next to Asian blank who intervened. This account may be found in Incident Report 542A6. SCP-542 has a strong connection to a collection of scalpels, blades, syringes, and various other surgical equipment from time periods ranging from modern day to archaic, if very well kept relics from years as early as the 1910s. He carries these in a velvet-lined black leather suitcase and modifies many of his jackets to have holders to hide and carry this equipment in. He's not allowed access to his collection except during testing and observation of self-surgery. SCP-542 has also caused several deaths of Class D personnel. Yeah, I mean, I can imagine for the tests or next victim hunting he does. I can see that a lot of Class D did not survive him. Even when not in testing due to negligence or assumption that certain items may be safe when used by him, personnel are reminded that even if his personality is pleasant the majority of the time, he will still dissect personnel for amusement and curiosity's sake if given a chance. These incidents may be reviewed in incident reports B1 through B11. Seemingly safe items such as sewing supplies have led to him making more than a rather well-tailored jacket for himself, but also resulted in him restraining a Class D personnel by sewing him to the mattress of the bed before removing his kidneys and a portion of the liver. Herr Chirurg, why? Why would you do that? Das kannst du nicht machen, das kannst du nicht machen, Herr Chirurg. Sie sind da nicht in einem Spital, in einem Krankenhaus. Sie sind da in der SCP Foundation. Oh, where did my dial go? Oh, shit. The fuck? Oh, over there. It's over there. Oh, no, money. I hit my D20 with this coin so hard that it just flung away. SCP-542 has shown to be very willing to comply with certain experiments and appears, just checking my audio here, Let me just make it tiny. And appears to enjoy performing self-surgery with someone observing, explaining what he's doing and displaying his knowledge of the workings of the body as if he were a teacher describing a surgical textbook. Unfortunately, this usually requires being at the risk of attack from him. As you can see, if you just use the scalpel right here and open up like this, you can see my 2 hearts. And looks like one of the kidneys is about to give up. Come over here. I was here to learn. You will learn with your own body. Okay. It has been requested that SCP-542 be kept alive for the process that allows for him to recover from intense surgery without organ rejection be studied and potentially copied for medical use. SCP-542 may also show potential for being used to assist in surgical and studying endeavors due to his increased intelligence and compulsion for dissection. Any books and notes written by him may be accessed and studied by those with Class 2 security clearance or higher. There's an update, blank blank 2000 blank. SCP-542 has somehow acquired knowledge of both SCP-291 and SCP-1025 and appears to be very interested in their use. Our requests to study both anomalies are to be denied until further notice. 291 was... Wasn't he the guy that just like... Oh yeah, no. This is the thing that can create. Yeah. You put a human in there, it just takes everything apart. Yes. It's a machine that just. Okay, yeah. I thought he would be interested in the guy that can just split himself apart and then and then just use himself as a weapon or as a lasso or anything like that. As long as he has something sharp, just like, and then he's like, because I assume that guy would be very interesting for this SCP to study. Incident report: a 6 Agent Blank, while staying at the Blank Hotel in Blank, Germany, heard the sounds of a scuffle and screaming from across the hall at approximately 3 a.m. local time, at which point he felt that he had to intervene, unknown that he would come face to face with a possible SCP. After forcing the door to Blank Blank's room, he observed SCP-542 removing the muscles and bone of Miss Blank's right leg. After the agent fired several shots, 542 fled through the window, and Agent Blank contacted local authorities and an ambulance. Why? This guy. Blank, an American tourist who had only been in town for a few days, described what had happened to her while recovering in the hospital. Afterwards, she willingly took the amnestic issued to her, preferred to believe that she had instead been an unfortunate traffic incident and her right leg had been amputated. Her report is as follows. Oh my god, that's brave. Because I imagine not a lot of people... I mean, okay, to be fair, I would say 50% of the people would take the amnestic just to forget whatever horrors happened and rather have like a story that makes sense to them. Instead of having a Frankenstein monster operate on your leg, you rather have like just a simple like car accident thing. It's still gonna mess you up mentally. You still gonna be like, shit, I lost a leg. But it's more natural to our world's logic. But I also imagine like a lot of people don't want to take the amnestic because they're like, no, I want to know that this exists. And now that I know that this exists, there's a chance that other things exist, and I kind of want to be aware of it and not walk into something dangerous again. So yeah, I have been to Germany before, so I knew my way around, and I was used to taking the bus. But I guess I first saw him there, I think, just this guy all hidden under heavy jackets and this hat and glasses, and of course I was suspicious because it was summer, sweltering hot, and I realized he was looking at me, but I ignored it. He didn't get off the bus at my stop anyway, and there was always others on the bus, even late at night. I guess I saw him for 3 days and I stopped thinking about it. He must have followed me off the bus that night. I went up to my hotel room and I don't remember. The window was open and it was all dark. The lights wouldn't turn on. I figured somebody had decided to steal my stuff, so I went in to see if anything was missing, and blank blank shows signs of intense discomfort and asks for a minute to compose herself. This is allowed, and she resumes after several minutes. You know, another thing about the Foundation's way of writing, saying like she asked to like give her some time to compose herself. This is allowed. As in like as if like you should decide if a victim is allowed to have composure time or not. Again, I think majority of the Foundation people are just asshats themselves. Like, yes, they're doing a favor to the world by saving the world from all these SCPs and keeping them locked up and testing on them to figure out how to combat them if they ever do escape, or how to use them for like our world's society. But still, some of the times I'm like, man, you guys are just dickheads. In this case, like I would prefer if they just said like she asked for composure time and naturally we gave her some, like, just because you should. She just got her leg fucking like surgically muscles removed by a German Frankenstein. So like, duh. Although to be fair, even though I say German Frankenstein, I believe the original Frankenstein monster was either German or was he Austrian or Swiss? Like, it took place in Europe. Victor Frankenstein. Oh, excuse me. He's an Italian Swiss, yeah. So I'm pretty sure he created that. He created the monster in Switzerland. Okay. He was hiding under the bed, and he had these freakishly long arms and the fingers, too many joints, and he took my ankles right out from under me. He was just too fast, and he tied my arms and legs to the bed. And at first I thought, that he was going to he kept saying like, don't worry, and you're going to help me, and I need your help, and things like that. It was scary as shit, and he said that as long as I keep quiet, he might call an ambulance afterwards, and that was a little scary. I might call an ambulance afterwards, because that sentence alone gives you two meanings. A, he's gonna do something to your body that will definitely need an ambulance. You need a hospital afterwards. Whatever he's gonna do to you, you definitely need to go to the hospital afterwards. So you know already that whatever he's gonna do to your body, it's gonna hurt, or at least be very discomforting. And B, he might. So there's even if he does the thing that just like removing fucking muscles from your leg, he might have just not called the ambulance. He might have just been like, no, thank you, and just left. Thank you for your muscles, and just gone. You know what I mean? Like, ooh. Yeah, that's scary. That is worrisome. I guess it really was worse than that. He picked up his jacket. It'd been on the coat hanger by the door, and I hadn't even noticed it, and started pulling out all these knives and all these tools, and I just didn't know what to do. So I decided to take my chance and start screaming as fast as I could. Then he blank was allowed to stop there and was delivered the amnestic and an alibi that night. I think the agent was just like, yeah, I understand, I was there. He didn't say, he wouldn't have said to her, I was there. Like, he probably should have said, I understand. Do you want the amnestic now so that you can forget this immediately? And she probably just like, yes, please, and just... Incident report A15. For details on the eventual tracking and capture of SCP-542, please refer to Data Expunge. A request for declassification is under review. 2000 blank. Finally, somebody writes it in normal. Year, month, day. As a note of blank, SCP-542 has been moved to Bio Research Area 12 in order to assist in the Olympia project, and I want him back intact. I know I clicked on this a couple of times already. But yeah, he's now part of this project. Okay. Note: SCP-542 has somehow acquired information of that one we know, but also SCP-827 and SCP-5. Oh, we're gonna learn about this one very soon. 545. Investigation into the extent of 542's knowledge of these SCP and how he acquired this knowledge is currently under investigation. Offending personnel will be disciplined appropriately by following a board review. Excuse me. All 5 blank. What if? Now listen to me here. This might just be a far-fetched theory. What if he knows that knowledge because of the brain matter that he keeps adding to himself? I know that that's not how brains work. You can't just stuff more brain into your brain and then get knowledge. But this is the world of SCP. What if that's how he does know? He just surgically removed a bit of brains from somebody who has knowledge about this, and next thing you know, he's like, I know more. Who knows? I'm just saying, it could be possible. But man, that one, Herr Chirurg, that one's so far my favorite. I think it's almost a horror movie monster. I know at the end he's actually friendly and well mannered and all that, but I do like that he has, not only does he, you know what's interesting? This is Frankenstein monster and Jekyll and Hyde combined to one. The well mannered Mr. Hyde, but then the crazy, I need to experiment Dr. Jekyll, and Frankenstein's monster. It's kind of like a mixture of those two, and I really like it. It's almost like this. I think this would be really cool one to make a short story about. Of course, not short story, short film. Of course, budget-wise, it's going to be a bit more expensive because his design is so unique. But I feel like, yeah, you shut up. I feel like this would be really cool to do as a short film. A good 20-minute film. Let me just get that down. Herr Chirurg. Here we go. There we go. All right. Noted. Once we get to 544, once we read that one, I'm going to the bathroom. Oh, unless it's really long. Noise. Noise. But no, it's just noise. Okay. Hey, this is the highest rating so far, and it's a Euclid. I believe it was... Yeah, it's safe, neutralized, and 2 Euclids in a row. Okay. Then I say I wanted to keep notes, right? Let me just... Where should I keep notes? Not on here. Wait, hold on. Hold on a quick second. I will find a good place to... You know what? I'm just going to use my Mac. Oh, my phone. My phone has a notebook. Why not just use it there? Okay. You guys know exactly what I'm going to do right now. SCP rating. Okay. So far, from what we have, Tannenbaums. So far, number 1 for me is definitely Herr Chirurg. Then, Tannenbaums is number 2, and number 3 is living thoracic system is number 3. We don't have. We will of course reorganize that once we know more. Okay, Euclid. Access to SCP-543 is restricted to staff with level 2 clearance. Detailed observation of SCP-543 3 has thus far been restricted to Class D personnel. And here we have a picture, SCP-543 played on the television. Yeah. For all people that didn't know, that is called noise. that's just called noise as well. The actual term for it. And for editing, when you have a lot of noise, you can that is well, for film editing it's mostly what do I want to say? Yes, when you see how like pixelated the screen is, that's also noise. Like for example, when you film in a darker area and the camera is not that great, and then you try to look at it on a big screen and you see like it's very pixelated, it's not very HD, that's also considered, that's also noise. Okay, description. SCP-543 is a collection of blank 4-hour VHS videotapes from various manufacturers. Total length of tape is blank, but I can see that this is a... This is a 4-digit number. Hours. Tapes are labeled with dates on times from blank 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 to blank blank blank. All tapes viewed so far appear to be noise or snow recorded from an empty analog television channel. However, those who watch the tapes for long enough are able to discern an image. See Addenda 1 and 2. Okay, they can see an image. Discovery. Oh yeah, that was the script. Man, that was for. Okay. Also confused because not every SCP has a discovery section. Some of them do. Some of them like have specifically that section. Some of them discovery and the description are in the same part. But yeah. Okay, SCP-543 was found in a single room apartment in the blank building blank blank on blank blank blank. The room contained a blank brand 38.1 cm analog television set with rabbit ear set top antenna. Television was tuned to the gap between local stations blank and blank. Antenna was attached to a tangle of wires that filled the entire room from floor to ceiling except for a small area in front of the television. SCP-543 was stacked along the walls and strewn on the floor. In front of the television was the apartment's tenant, blank adult male deceased. Oh, okay, that's not good. Head was buried in the television. He had rammed it through the glass screen himself and died of electrocution. Listen, only the ring girl can come out of the TV. I don't think you can go into a TV. I mean, you can, but not the same way she does. Signs of extreme malnutrition. Evidently, Jesus. After filling the room with wires, he was unable or unwilling to remove any, confining himself to a small and smaller space. Body surrounded by food wrappers and excrement. Body was discovered by building landlord after continued non-payment of rent. Police dismantled antenna structure to retrieve the body. Examination of crime scene photos and investigation of Blank's behavior showed the wires were placed in 4 stages over the Blank days before his death. Stage 1. Coat hangers attached to antenna with scotch tape, blank hours of VHS tape. Stage 2, reel of 6 gauge wire and duct tape purchased from local hardware store, blank hours of tape. Stage 3, waste wire scavenged from construction site, blank had lost his job at blank due to persistent absenteeism, blank hours of tape. Stage 4, apartment ransacked, springs removed from mattress, appliances dismantled for wiring, exits blocked, 1 tape unlabeled found in the VCR by police. But why all this? Why all this? Why so many cables? Why is whatever image he's seen, does he want to keep that image up? And if not, does it drive him insane? Here we go. Addendum 1. Summary of SCP-543 observation logs D671. Personnel D671 was given a random selection of tapes, blank hours in total, viewed in chronological order with VCR and television of the same model as blanks, still mesh fitted over screen as a precaution. Yeah, so you don't fucking bash your head in. In the tapes made during stage 1, that's just make a thought sound for bashing your head into a TV. It should be more be like, yeah. In tapes made during stage 1, D671 identified the image as unremarkable TV noise. Later, she claimed to discern an image and requested that it be tuned in. In stage 2 tapes instead of a two-dimensional wall of snow, D671 claimed to see a vast three-dimensional space. She stressed the size of the space, bigger than anything you've seen, bigger than anything ever, beginning of claustrophobic tendencies. D671 reported stage 3 tapes as clearer and sharper. She now claimed to see things occupying the immense space. Whether they were animate or indeed whether they were entities or events is unclear. Once again, she emphasized the size, becoming agitated when interviewers did not get it. Severe claustrophobia, anxiety, night terrors. After viewing blank minutes of the final unlabeled tape, D671 attempted to remove the mesh over the screen, stripping 3 fingernails and breaking her nose before being restrained. Currently isolated in 4-point restraints, cooperates with interviewers, but answers are repetitive. See addendum 2. Partial transcript interview with D671 at 10 o'clock. Okay. Why did you do it? Because he isn't big enough. Not when you've seen it. Big enough for what? Why do you think the TV can see them? Because they're everywhere. They're all through us, and we're not big enough, and it hurts. Okay. Not what I imagined, but the fact that it gives you an existential crisis on your own space is insane. Not only that, because like this TV, everybody who was born in the 90s probably had seen this TV in the grandparents or in your own house before you got like a bigger one, and then after like 15 years later you got a flat screen. But this thing doesn't have a lot of space, so the fact that she would look at the room and be like, this is not big enough, let me jam my head into something that's like the size of, I don't know, a microwave. Let me jam my whole body in that thing. She must see something very wild. Okay, interesting. I'm gonna put this guy. I like the concept of like the more they watch, the more they see, but I'm gonna put this on the I'm gonna put this number 3 for underneath the Tannenbaums. I just think the Tannenbaums is such a creative thing. Just bomb and then plants. Like I think that there's something so cool about that, and something like you can do past just story or movie wise. You can add that to like a video game, even a song. Ooh, okay, this is a longer one, but it should be okay. After this one, I'm going to the bathroom. This one is called The New Voice. So we had noise, and now we have voice. Okay. This one, I don't think it's a bit higher than the living photographic system, but only by a little bit. Like I think like 23. Sorry. Okay. It was safe, but now it's Euclid. Class update after the event. Oh my god. 5, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5 by order of all 5 blank. Special containment procedures. When not in use, SB544 is to be kept in a standard 1 meter cubed locked storage container. That's not big. When in use, the bearer of SCP-544 is to be under visual and auditory surveillance at all times. In the event that SCP-544 is to be removed from a bearer, it is to be only done by a legally deaf staff in auditory staff room. Staff room 524264. So it's something that you can transport. The new voice. It's not okay. Okay. SB544 is a 30 centimeter tall handheld radio microphone made of polished metal and black plastic. There is no evidence of wires. It was safe before, but it's now Euclid, right? Yeah. So this is the third Euclid in a row. Interesting. Sorry. in her possession by 6,000. When grasped by the neck of the microphone, the bearer will gain a subtle but significant compulsion to keep SCP-544 in his or her possession at all times. This compulsion begins as a simple dislike for the idea of letting go of SCP-544, but inevitably culminates in a desire to keep SCP-544 in a pocket or other carrying method at all times. Attempts to retrieve SCP-544 when the bearer is asleep have generally resulted in separation events. See below. I guess like separation events, like a panic where like they're like, where is it? I need it. Okay. After 2 days of bearing SCP-544, it will begin to speak for its bearer through methods unknown. The sound SCP-544 makes is identical to the bearer's original voice, and the bearer does not seem to notice that this voice replacement is occurring until explained. As time passes, more and more of the subject's speech is replaced by SCP-544, and the vocal tone of SCP-544 becomes more and more electronic, with a comical and jovial tone. Within 2 weeks, the bearer is completely voiced by SCP-544. Why am I scrolling down? I can just hover over this. In blank separate test cases, subjects bearing SCP-544 were noted as rarely saying the following words normally, if weakly. Why? Speaker, shroud, and expunge. The latter, believed to be of Mesoamerican origin, has been uttered the most. Okay. So does it basically takes... Does it take your voice away though? Like, it's just Ursula? Just give me your voice. Attempts to remove SCP-544 from the bearer's possession results in what has been dubbed a separation event. Here we go. SCP-544 will produce a screeching tone in order to incapacitate those that will wish to gain SCP-544. The desirable level of separation events have ranged from 140 to between 140 and 150 decibels, causing significant discomfort and pain. The original bearer of SCP-544 is somewhat affected, but to a severely lesser degree. Incapacitating the bearer before attempting to acquire SCP-544 causes the same separation event. After the event, its original bearer recovers normally, with the exception of being unable to speak at all. Autopsy of bearer's brain revealed near complete atrophy of posterior inferior frontal gyrus section, commonly known as Broca's area. Because of the risk to personnel nearby when separation events occur, 05 blank has ordered that all operations done to retrieve SCP-544 are to be done in non-military safe rooms, ASRs, rooms specifically designed to mitigate and reduce sound-related issues. Wow, but only when you separate them does your voice vanish, it seems. Okay, interesting. But in the same time, you end up not speaking at all to begin with. And then number 1, interview with SCP-544 bearing subject. Okay, interview date is that 2000 blank. 4/12/2000 blank. Researcher blank. Subject D78909. Current amount of time subject has borne SCP-544 1 week, 2 days. Okay, so how long they had. Please note, by this time, a significant percentage of D78909's vocalization comes from SCP-544. In the interest of clarity, sections in which SCP-544 is speaking will be written like this, in keeping with SCP-544 higher electronic voice, as is standard with this effect upon its bearers. D78908 does not notice or does not seem to care when he stops using his mouth to stop in the middle of a sentence. I see. So, and how are you read today? 78909. I see you I see you've taken to stuffing SCP-544 into your pocket. Yes, it was getting a bit annoying having to hold this thing in my hands. Plus, it fits pretty well, don't you think? So, okay, so like this part right here is all set by the SCP itself. True, but have you considered returning it to us? What are you using it for? Nah, why would I want to give this up? I like it. Believe it or not, most of the other D-class folks think I'm higher up on the food chain because I've got this thing. Stupid gang banging, racial insult. They think owning an old-time radio microphone is some version of a gang sign. Would you believe that they occasionally try to make the expletive thing when I'm sleeping expletive ing racial insults? Have they forgotten the freaking day in freaking jail? This is Detroit, for God's sake. Let's refrain from racial insults, 78909, and mind your tone. You're in jail with them too. Tell me more about what happens when they try to take it from you. Fine. Sorry about the cursing. Anyways, I'm a light sleeper, so the minute I feel the dirty little mitts unzipping my pockets, I'm awake. Then the metal noise starts up, and they start clutching their heads like it's a bullhorn. They back off, and I go back to sleep. Metal noise. You know, the noise that it makes when someone tries to take it. You guys install it, right? So that nobody steals it from me. What was that stupid horn those Africans played at soccer games so much that everyone hated? Like that, but more synthetic, a lot quieter. 2. Have to give you boys credit. It's perfect. Stop touching my expletive alarm sound. Sorry, I know. Don't swear. Force of habit. Yes, that metal noise. We made that noise for military discouragement operations. What would you say if I told you that you kept alternating between speaking with your voice and the microphone speaking for you? I'd laugh at you because you guys tried that trick for a few days after you gave me this thing. You told me to randomly talk while looking into what you guys said was a mirror. Of course it wasn't a mirror, since I stopped talking a few times in the reflection while I kept talking freaked me out a bit, but then I realized that you guys just recorded me standing somewhere doing nothing and used that fancy CGI expletive to make it look like I wasn't talking. A few words. Nice try, Doc. So they're not even aware. It's kind of freaky. The fact that like they just be ending up talking like this and suddenly, and next thing you know, the SCP talks for you. Yeah, so I was just going down the lane and I saw just a random ass dog just fighting a cat, and the cat died. Addendum to event 544 Alpha on 5/24/2000 blank at 3:42 a.m. The current bearer of SCP-544, okay, he was a different D class, D 423245, was asleep in his bunk. While undisturbed and remaining asleep, SCP-544 began to speak seemingly random phrases. It was initially assumed that D5 423245 was simply talking in his sleep until SCP-544 began speaking things which could not have been possible in dream-based. Later bearers of SCP-544 repeated many of the following lines in their sleep. For a full listing, please see file 544 full log 353. I was slumbering, I was waking, flames, fire, burning. I slumbered again. There is no blank, there is no blank, there is no barrier. The slab groans, I groan to match. We rise together. When? I dreamed until the dawn, but it was not dawn, it was false. Dawn that was not a dawn, that dreams turned to dust. The number was expunged. The number is expunged. No time, not yet. Wait, no, not time, not yet. No, wait and dream. Event 544 Alpha and later similar situation has caused the Foundation to re-evaluate SCP-544's nature. It is currently not understood how SCP-544 or its multiple bearers have a knowledge of SCP-blank, much less of how SCP-blank has anything in common with SCP-544. More startling is 544's mentioning of the specific lat long of Foundation Overwatch. In response to event the 544-423-245, SCP-544 has been upgraded to Euclid status. Event Beta. On 9/15/2000 blank at 4:01 a.m., the current bearer of SCP-544, D64349, was seen walking around the medical cell he had been contained in due to common illness. Conversation with D64349 speaking through SCP-544 began shortly thereafter. To date, there have been blank attempts to forcibly recreate the events of 544 Beta with no success. Up and about 64349, feeling better. Buried. Excuse me? Please repeat yourself. Long pause between words begin here and continue throughout the conversation. Perversion. Corruption of the method. I'm trod under those who exist to serve me. Realizing he's not talking to with D64349. What method are you speaking of? Does the person I'm talking to exist to serve you? Touch the stone, become my voice, speak my truths and my rules to the people. I've warned them. Popo katepetil was the warning. A volcano located in... Okay, I don't know how to say that then. Warning of corruption, arrival, destruction. What happened? My voice was not protected. Pretenders to my glory usurped me. Shattered, disregarded. I slept. And what caused you to wake up? Do you remember when? Short of me, not enough. The Gerto, Spanish for big. Treated like. Unknown translation suggests the bearer of wooden color. Blasphemy. Touch the stone, become my voice. Touch the stone, spoke for them. Rapidly alternate between Nahuatl, Spanish and English. Arrogance. At this point, D64349 awoke, presumably by the sound of SB544. He turns to face Dr. Blank, who stalls him. Jesus wept, doctor. Do you get your jollies of watching patients get up to take a piss? None of your business. D. Good night. Okay. There is some freaky deaky stuff happening here. But it looks like this, whatever this SCP has in mind, he has a greater goal in mind. Something in his history happened that he's trying to fight against. Believe it or not, this one is actually my number 2. The New Voice. I like this more than Tannenbaum's. I think it's really... I like the idea that it's just you slowly but surely don't speak anymore, but the radio speaks for you, and you just don't realize. And then an idea that it says things while you sleep that you find out is not actually from your own dreams or mindset. Yeah, it's sort of like a possession and stealing of your own voice. So yeah, that's nice stuff. Okay, be right back, guys. I'm going to the bathroom. All right, we at the halfway point. What's the next one? Liquid Live Totenkinder. That's a lot of German in this 10. Tannenchirurg, Herr Chirurg, and now Totenkinder, which the translate would be like dead children. Liquid Life, but dead children. Not sure how I feel about this. Euclid. Oh, there's like I think noise was like 2 points more. Yep. Okay. SB545 is considered to be 3 individual parts, and thus each part may be stored differently. SB545A is to be kept in 2-room in residential containment unit at Site 17, furnished to her liking. To date, she has not requested a TV, radio, nor any contact with the outside world beyond a walk through a park or woods at least once per week. Available to her upon request. During said excursions, she has to be accompanied by a team of 4 armed security personnel and at least 1 researcher familiar to her. SBA is allowed. Dash A is allowed to leave her containment and spend time in level 0 and common areas, provided that she notify the level 2 security personnel ahead of time and is supervised during the duration of her leaving her room. Dash A poses no immediate threat to any personnel, provided that they are reminded not to make assumptions about her strength, speed, or intelligence based upon her appearance. All samples and bottles of Dash B are to be picked and placed in the appropriate storage unit under lock. Only authorized level 4 security personnel or higher may be allowed to handle, transport, or study Dash B. Drinking Dash B is strictly forbidden and punishable by immediate termination unless under testing protocol. All requests to study and test Dash B must be submitted at least a week in advance and approved by a head of site research, if not an O5 level operative. Okay, so we have a child and we have a potion from the looks of it. Dash A unit is also to contain a small garden on the sun lamps available for her to work in. No poisonous plants are allowed after incident 454-6B. And then -C is to be locked in a quad-locked secure storage vault inside 17's precious atom wing. So we don't even know what that one is, but we'll find out, because it looks like we're going through each and every one what they are. Description: SCP-545 may be determined as three. Yeah, we know that. -A appears to be an elderly woman, presumably of Eastern European descent, 1.5 meters, 5 feet in height, and 73.9 kilograms. Kilometers. Kilometers. Can you imagine how much you weigh? 75 kilometers. That would weigh a lot. Because like if you think of like how much distance that is, and that whole distance, that's how much weight you have. That would be a lot. 163 pounds in weight, giving her a short, plump build. Her skin, although deeply tanned and heavily lined, is devoid of blemishes or liver spots, otherwise common with age. Her hair is thick, completely white, and past her waist when let down. Although -A prefers to keep it up in a tight bun. Her eyes, despite her age, are bright, clear blue and devoid of cataracts or fogginess. As a reward for good behavior and cooperation, she has been allowed to choose a wardrobe of simple and traditional dresses and eyeglasses. Despite appearing to be 80 plus years old, -A is in exceptional health with no weakening of hard bones or respiratory system, and although of average human strength, her senses are known to be above average, and she scores a general 115 on a standard IQ test. -A claims to be over 800 years old. This claim has yet to be disproved. Okay. Basically, they're saying that they kind of believe her until proven otherwise. -A prefers to be called a number of names and dislikes the SCP designation number. She will respond to Granny, Beatrice, Miss Widow, and has taken a liking to Dr. Blank's nickname for her Totenkinder. Doctor, I don't want to tell you how to what kind of nicknames you want to give your SCP, and especially your SCP grandmas, but why that? Why would you give? Maybe we'll let's see. Let's see if we find out. It would be kind of weird if he just gave her that name and she doesn't do anything with children. There's nothing like about dead children around her at all. She displays a generally pleasant personality and enjoys activities such as sewing, cooking, and gardening. -A often requests conversation and walks outside as well. Despite -A's penchant for acting like a kindly older woman, she displays no remorse for her use of -B and C. Okay, what do you do with those two? -A also displays a pathological fear of death and an addiction to -B, and she complies with Foundation personnel under the threat of being deprived of her supply of -B. As the only known long-term user of -B, -A information is considered invaluable. Okay, so is -B basically like a fountain of youth or kind of liquid or something like that just keeps you alive? Oh, that's a fountain of youth, just like I guess an immortal drink. -B is a odorless liquid extracted from the body via -C and bottled from the body. It is often dubbed liquid life due to its properties. So it literally gives you life, makes you immortal. On the examination, -B appears to be slightly more viscous than water, but varies in direct texture and taste. -B has no unique properties until ingested. Drinking -B extends the life of the user, slowing the process of aging, often either slowing or completely ridding the body of disease. It may even be used to heal major wounds if drunk quickly enough. Repeated use of -B may prolong life indefinitely, but results in a strong dependency upon its properties, and many frequent users show borderline sociopathic tendencies in regards to the creation of -B. To date, the SCP Foundation keeps a limited supply of -B and allows for production only for study of -C. Now let's find out what -C is. But I can see why she is at the stage where she's dependent on -B. He's dependent on Dash B, and so she needs. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it. Oh my god, can you imagine like if she's like all nice, like look at you. I hope your wife is doing good at home, Benny. I hope she's doing good. By the way, where's my life drink? You're like, whoa. Whoa, Granny. Whoa, Granny. Now calm down. Dash C is a thin, weathered sheet of yellow parchment in surprisingly good condition. Carbon dating places it to be at least 600 years old. Dash A claims to have copied Dash C from its original document containing Dash C's instruction. For lack of a better term, Dash C contains a recipe in Middle English for extracting and distilling Dash B's from the human body. Full contents of Dash C are undisclosed in order to prevent unauthorized personnel from creating Dash B. Key portion... God damn it, starting already. Key portions include... Ingredients, with starting already, I mean like... Remember how I said with rainy days it always goes good reading recipes? It's starting right now. Ingredients list, including such materials as live leeches, skull cap seeds, chicken fetuses, snake skin, ginger roots, mandrake root, lily of the valley water, spider eggs, and nearly 24 more items in varying amounts. The most prominent ingredients appears to be a living human being, preferably a child. Is this what it's come? Multiple ingredients on this list have been noted to match the ingredients used in the instances of SCP-2077. Is that why she's called Totenkinder? Is she the witch from Hansel and Gretel? Is this what I mean? She doesn't have to be the witch from Hansel, but is she inspired by the witch from Hansel and Gretel? Who knows? Supplies lists including a boiling pot large enough for a child. I mean, that's if that fits. Or other human being, along with water and many ingredients in a strainer made from fresh spider webs, among other things, not strings. Instructions list detailing rather elaborately the exact amount of materials and timing needed to successfully create, distill, and bottle Dash B. This is fucked, but I love it. This now I feel like this one will be my top. Herr Chirurg and Totenkinder should like band together. Don't. That would be horrible. That would be absolutely horrible. Dash A is able to recite and act upon Dash C by heart. The exact mechanisms of the process that creates Dash B are still unidentified. Magic is not an acceptable answer. There has to be some sort of process here that allows for this to happen. It can't just happen because it works. Dr. Black. I mean, my guy. You in the SCP Foundation. Everything around you happens because it works. Like some of it has like its own logic. I understand. Yeah, like its own science behind it. But at the end, you have a thing. A man that can face with the walls and hunts people down and pulls them into a world of slime. You have a person that teleports into random dimensions. You have so many. You have a talking drawing, or not talking drawing, just a living drawing. You have a tattoo that moves around and eats other tattoos. You have so much shit around you that just happens because it works. Magic. I feel like magic is not that uncommon in the SCP world. Addendum SCP-545 was located in a small Midwestern town under the guise of an elder woman with mild dementia. Oh, not only... Wait, hold on. Maybe she's not inspired by Hansel and Gretel, but maybe she's inspired by Baba Yaga. Because Baba Yaga was also like a lovely elderly woman that sometimes maybe did some weird shit. and isn't the story with Baba Yaga that's like children, like she's like, so she was like so like almost like the classic children tale, like, oh, if you misbehave, Baba Yaga will take you and eat you. I think I might be wrong. The woods her residential neighborhood were located in led to an area near a river that was prone to sinkholes and had a small history of children becoming lost or dying in the woods before. Her neighbors described her as a kind and caring and had no suspicion that she may be anything more than a lonely elderly widow with a penchant for giving neighborhood kids small treats in return for collecting their used glass bottles. She was located and captured by a data expunged. From -8's own memory, she has been repeating the same process for quite a while. She buys a small house in a relatively dangerous area and keeps the supplies for -C with her, or manages to find and produce them. She collects glass bottles via the neighborhood and over time gains their trust. She describes the process of capturing children for -C as being relatively easy. She simply goes for a walk and pretends to be lost, or talks to kids into accompanying her home under the promise of food and candy. She admits to doing this at least once every 5 years or more. She claims to have been using this process for at least 800 years, but has admitted that even though her aging has slowed to a crawl, it hasn't stopped completely no matter how much -B she produces and ingests. -B is not to be used or distributed even in case of emergency. Fail to comply will result in termination. 05 blank. Wow. She doesn't even say like she feels bad about it. Like because again, she's fully dependent on the liquid life. She doesn't care. She doesn't care if like a child dies for it. Especially after 800 years, she won't care about that shit anymore. She was just like, I just need that Kool-Aid, bro. I just need it. Just give me that purple stuff. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't give two shits that a child will die for this. And in 800 years, every 5 years. Okay, let's see. Let's assume the first like 40 years she didn't do it. Let's assume like the first 40 years she didn't do this, and then found this out, and then didn't do it for maybe like let's just assume she started doing this whole thing with 50. So like, so 750 years extra. So 750 divided by 5. 150 children die for this shit. Every 5 years she does this. 150 children died so she can live longer. No, yeah, doctor, you gave her the right nickname. Totenkinder is absolutely correct. 150 kids on her kids' blood on her hands. Wow, this is my favorite so far. I gotta say, like, not only is it my favorite just because of like, the story is so good, and I love her as a character. I don't like her like if I were to meet her, I'd be like, you are despicable. But I love her as a character. She's so lovely, but then like she has this really dark side, and of course she for me she looks like this story took inspiration of Hansel and Gretel, but also Baba Yaga, and because Hansel and Gretel is the whole like idea like, oh, are you guys lost? How about you stay here and eat some food? And then she like feeds them till they get fat, and then eats them the kids themselves. But also Baba Yaga was a witch, so the idea of like combining the witch from Hansel and Gretel and Baba Yaga into one package, it's dangerous, I tell you. That is good. I love it. That is now my number one for now. We still have 4 more to go, right? Yes. 1, 2, 3. We have A Notebook is the next one. A Notebook. Very short, and this one is okay. Finally, we got out of the Euclid train. We're back in safe. I mean, technically, living thoracic system was safe, but it's dead. It's neutralized. So this is the official second save from the story. Here we go. A notebook, eh? What does it say on here? Okay. Come on. South Dixie. Bread, eggs, milk, cheese. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I'm sorry. Why do I apologize for that? That doesn't need apology. I'm not sorry at all. The Shining is awesome. SCP-546 is to be kept is to be contained in a secure lockbox. Access is restricted only to level 2 research staff directly assigned to SCP-546. A full log of all used sheets, date used, inscribed data, and subject exposed is to be kept along with SCP item. At no point should SCP-546 or any of the sheets leave the quarantine room. Description: SCP-546 consists of a single pad of spiral-bound lined blank brand note paper. SCP-546 measures 15 centimeters by times 23 centimeters and currently consists of 47 sheets out of the original 60, so 3 sheets are missing, okay. Besides its anomalous effects, the item has no other outstanding characteristics. But what is the anomalous effect? Find out next time, right now. Man, that G Fuel always delicious. When a subject inscribes on SCP-546, it's a death note, isn't it? Don't even lie to me. I have no idea where my death note is. I have a death note, but I have no idea where it is. I need it back. I want it back. Yes. With any writing instrument, they begin to experience a cognitive breakdown. Any inscribed word or phrase will begin to interject itself into the subject's speech and writing. The frequency of the phrase will continue to rise over the course of time. After approximately 24 hours, the subject is unable to write and speak anything else other than the phrase they had written down. Removal of sheets does not affect the properties of the item. Ooh. So if you just write down... Yeah, if you just write down... So this is basically... This is The Shining. This is The Shining where like... All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, where he just wrote only that into his book. Now, Jack Torrance didn't end up saying only that, but he only wrote that. This is the case where you write it down, you can only write that and only say it. So imagine like if you walked around just saying, you basically become Groot. You basically become I am Groot, but with whatever you wrote down. Okay. Although there is a serious mental distress from losing the ability to communicate with others affected subjects have been shown to be able to continue living on with their new disability. Cognitive abilities are not directly affected, and subjects are able to nod and shake their heads in response to simple yes/no questions. Yeah, but you cannot write or say anything. So any other communication... What? Learn hand signs. Boom. Problem solved. Learn hand signs and hey, you have to then let other people have to learn it with you. Just learn hand signs. Bam. Boom bam. SCP, you're useless. I solved the issue. Experiment log. D-class 546 3931 sheet 55 South Dixie Drive. Subject 546 3931 was then asked to read from the Canterbury Tales out loud. About 30 minutes into the novel, the subject interjected the phrase South Dixie Drive directly into her dialogue. She was assured that this would be normal and asked to continue. The phrase came up again at the 45-minute mark, but this time subject 3931 refused to keep reading and asked to see a doctor. Frequency continued to escalate over the next 14 hours when the subject was sedated due to violent outbursts at an assistant. When the subject woke up 8 hours later, her vocabulary consisted entirely of the phrase South Dixie Drive. That is again kind of fucked. Like, why would you after this you should be done testing. I'm sorry. This is when you stop testing. You're like, okay, that's all we need to know. Why? I know the D class are all criminals and shit like that, but do you really want to take, like, imagine like if you are in jail because of, I don't know, theft, like multiple succession of thievery. That's why you're in jail. You're in jail because you constantly try to steal shit, and then. But you're not the worst human being. You just did it because you're in a shitty situation. But now you're in jail for a long period of time. And the SB Foundation is coming along. It's like, hey, how about we showing that sentence for you? It's like, oh yeah, I kind of don't want to be here. I want to see my family again. And then this is what they do to you. Take away your... This is the second SCP in those 10 that we just read that takes away your ability to speak. I mean, the other one, your ability to, like, you as a person doesn't speak anymore, but this fucking radio speaks for you, and once the radio is gone, you're done for. You can't speak anymore. And this thing doesn't take away your ability to speak completely, it just reduces your vocabulary to, like, whatever the hell you wrote down. Man, okay. Subject D class, you repeated with her? Okay. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Subject 3931 was instructed that writing the above phrase on SB 5496 would cure her current condition. Subject was unable to write down the phrase. Yeah, you now know you can't change that. Also, what a fucking lie. Just write it down. Just write a different thing down, and you'll be cured. Oh, I can't. Subject. Okay, we have 3880. Bread, eggs, milk, cheese. So yeah, all this stuff is what they wrote down. Okay. Subject 3880 is a Hispanic male whose primary language was Spanish. After writing down the test phrase, the subject was asked to sing the words in the Spanish version of Happy Birthday out loud until asked to stop. The first instances of the phrase occurred in English after approximately 25 minutes. The subject was calmed down and asked to continue singing in the song, except this time in English. This time the phrase did not occur until after 2 hours had passed. A written test phrase later did not produce the same anomaly. Okay, now subject D3950, phrase 5551234. Subject 3950 is a deaf individual who lost his hearing a few years before arriving at the Foundation. Although written text follows the same pattern as above, his ability to sign was never affected. After several weeks of monitoring 3950, it was determined that his ability to use sign language was unaffected by sign language classes are being provided. Sign language classes are being provided to subjects 3931 and 3880 to further study the effects of. Don't use that as like this further study. At least just for once, say to help them communicate with people again. Like you took away the way to speak. You absolute bellend. You fucking bellend. But still, I like the notebook. I think I'm gonna put the notebook 5th. At first I was like, do I want to put it above Tannenbaums and between Tannenbaums and the New Voice? Because I think the New Voice is creepier. This one is just messed up because like the Foundation did this to the D class. They could have just not touched it after the first experiment. It's like, okay, we're done. maybe 2 experiments at max. One normal and then one with someone who speaks sign language and never everything again. Right? Just that's all you have to do. So yeah. But I still think Tannenbaums is. TV turn off. Tannenbaums is just such a cool idea. I love the idea of Tannenbaums. Again, the idea that just it's just dope. Okay, only 3 more left, guys. We were reading for almost 2 hours, and let's take away like 5 minutes for that. No, it wasn't 5 minutes. Was it for the toilet break? It wasn't 5 minutes. Like it was like a 2 or 3 minutes thing. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how long I sat there. The Cardigan business card. Okay, this one. Oh. Ooh. We got some extra stuff. This one is safe. Okay, this is the 3rd save. We got 3 saves, 3 Euclids, and 1. No. 3 saves? I think it was, and then 1 terminated. And then Do we have 4 Euclids? This one was safe. Safe, neutralized, Euclid. Yeah, 4 Euclids. Safe. Yeah, it doesn't matter. SB547 is to be stored inside a plain black envelope. Now, I completely forgot what this one's called. This one's called the card edition business card, yeah. Which in turn is to be stored in a security deposit box located in Dr. Blank's office. No Foundation employee is to access SB547 without Dr. Blank's consent, and SB547 itself should only be handled by the test subject. Please note that any persons exposed to SB547's effect are subject to Class D stat. Whoa. Immediately just for... Oh boy. Can you imagine being one of the doctors or one of the agents treating your D-class poorly, and then you get affected by SCP-547 and you become a D-class and you have to hang out with the person that you treated poorly? They're gonna be like, well, it looks like we're in the same boat now, hey, doctor? Or should I call you D-class as well, huh? What number you got? Oh, you are 40445. I'm 40446, so I have one number higher than you. I'm your superior here. Description: SB547. Although, no, wouldn't the earlier number be superior? So 40444. Because I assume the numbers mean how many D class they had. So yeah, no, he needs to have 40444 to be superior. So SB547. Jesus, motherfucking Christ. SB547 is an off-white standard size business card, 85mm times 55mm for blank blank, a licensed hypnotherapist from blank UK. The front of the card is unremarkable and inert. On the reverse, the phrase "Japan's donk," I don't know how to say that. Dons, then it's written in black. It's French. I don't speak French. Black pen in black ballpoint pen. My God, in black ballpoint pen. I like that alliteration though. The modified side of SCP-547 is a cognito hazard and should be treated with the relevant... Excuse me, what? In all cases, reading and understanding the phrase has ultimately resulted in a complete loss of personality and a great... Well, thank you for making me read that phrase then. At least... I don't understand the phrase though. Ha ha! And a great deal would do... I found the plot hole. If I don't understand the phrase, I'm fine. Unless somebody explains the phrase to me, then I'm fucked. And Grady would do... Don't you guys dare. Don't you even dare. Don't you even dare. Grady would do is awareness of self. Test subjects have been able to perform most basic tasks, and nearly all are still capable of speech. Subjects are, however, incapable of any subjective thought and emotion beyond the rational and immediate. The effects of SCP-547 are degenerative, with full manifestation occurring approximately 10 weeks after exposure. Several stages have been observed. Exposure 1 week. No substantial change in personality. Subjects may occasionally forget personal details or answer them to a name other than their own. Week 1 to 6 weeks. Subjects begin to show confusion as to their own identity and key facts regarding their lives. See interview A for further details. 6 to 9 weeks, subject begins to regress towards final stage of infection. Mannerism and turns of phrase associated with subject begin to disappear, and speech begin to lack inflection and emotion. And in 10 weeks and beyond, psychological and cognitive effects previously described are fully manifest. See interview B for further details. Man, okay, so this business card just takes away all personality, huh? Anything that, oh my God. You just become an emotionless face. Literally an emotionless face. Even though like you still have a face, but you just become nobody. The whole reason why we are special is because we have emotions. Every human being is special because they have emotions. And the way how they interact or react or act to certain situations is influenced by our thinking and emotional behavior. So taking that away, isn't that technically a psychopath? Like, wait, hold on. The terms I used to describe someone who is callous, unemotional, and morally depraved. Because like nowadays people think psychopath, they link psychopath with a killer that doesn't feel anything for the people that they kill. But yeah, it basically means like you have no emotions. You don't feel anything. So this is probably like the closest thing to like a perfect or a true psychopath being made. Which is kind of interesting because now I think of American Psycho, because in American Psycho, the main character, I forgot his name, but played by Christian Bale, he's a businessman. And he also doesn't really feel anything for the people he kills. So this is very interesting. I'm not sure if that was intended or if this person is inspired by American Psycho, but this definitely has, in my mind, has a connection. Subject D, 547 Tau is a Caucasian male, age 35. Time since exposure to SCP-547, 5 weeks and 2 days. So he's in the second stage. Good morning, Subject Tau. I'm Dr. Blank. Records say your name is blank blank. Is that correct? It is. Very good. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where should I start? Well, how about a little regarding your early life? Any happy memories? Oh yes, every summer my parents used to rent this place in Maine. Maine? You know what? The fact that he said Maine now makes me think of It. Because It also influenced people's emotions. Like a lot of... the whole reason why a lot of people in It don't react or do anything to the like horrible stuff happening to the children is because Pennywise influenced them, that they would just walk away from it. So now I'm thinking of now American Psycho and It are combined. There's a lot of combination of things. First we got Dr. Jekyll and Hyde and Frankenstein's Monster. Then we had Hansel and Gretel Witch and Baba Yaga, and now we have It and American Psycho. There's so many combination of things happening here. My parents used to rent this place in Maine. I loved it there. Sandy beaches, those quaint little lighthouses, lobster dinners. I remember my mom telling me, Henry, hang on, can I stop you there? Why did your mother refer to you as Henry? Because that's my name. You confirmed your name as blank blank 30 seconds ago. I did? Please continue. Like I was saying, my mom always said, Marcus, if there was ever paradise here on Earth, this would be it. Man, I love that clean air. All that green. Nothing like BC in the spring. British Columbia. He said Maine. Where's Maine? Maine is in is a state, right? And British. Don't get mad at me. I don't know anything about American states. And British Columbia. Oh boy, that that is somewhere completely else. So yeah, his memory is fucked. It's all jumbled. Only BC I know of. Tell me about your parents. Decent people. Both came from blank Kentucky, born and raised. My dad loved his bikes, named me after one. Got some ribbing at school for that. Holly ain't all that common name, you know. He was a good man though. He loved his pa. Says leaving him at the boarding gate back in blank was the saddest day of his life, but a man's got to make his own way in the world, I guess. So he emigrated from blank. Yes, but he was born in Kentucky, that's right. Would you mind confirming your name and the last place you lived, please? Jacob Maddox, Austin, Texas, and again. Paul Jones, I'm from Cardiff, is in the UK, and again. David Pollock, Birdseye, Utah. I don't understand why you're asking. I've already told you. Again. Remainder of interview classified. 5 clearance required. Oh no. Oh no. It also seems like some of them names are just combination of like people, of different people that he might have heard of. like Pollock, like Jackson Pollock. Oh my goodness. Every time you ask him for his name, he just has a whole different. Oh no, I thought this only like I knew this took away like your memory of you who you are, and your mannerism and emotions, but that it jumbles your memories this bad. Oh, man, imagine doing this to yourself and trying to go to fucking college, or just any job. Ooh. Okay, now it also makes sense why they say like you might not answer to your own name, because you literally won't think that as your own name. Fourth interview with Tao. 12 weeks since. Okay, now this is now beyond. He's now completely gone. Good morning, Tao. Good morning. I'd like to perform some tests today. Please follow the written directions on the sheet in front of you. You have 15 minutes. Subject Tao performs several tests designed to highlight any loss in cognitive function. Results are negative. Good. Now I'm going to show you a few pictures. Can you tell me what it is? Blue sky with clouds. What do you think of it? I think, I don't know. How about this one? It's a man. He's dead. His throat been cut. Any thoughts on this? You used to hate this picture. It's an image of a dead human printed on photograph quality paper. High gloss. Not quite what I was getting at. You have no opinion of it whatsoever? No. Moving on then. According to your profile, you suffered from arachnophobia. Dr. Blank releases a large but otherwise unremarkable house spider onto subject Tao's arm. Heart rate does not rise above 65 beats per minute. Nothing? It's been 3 weeks since I've been able to elicit any sort of human response from you. Let's try something else. Do you know what this is? A blowtorch. Dr. Blank activates blowtorch and moves it towards Tao's arm, causing subject to flinch. Tao's heart rate jumps to 135 BPM. Remain of injury classified, O5 clearance required. I mean, listen, he's emotionless and like his fears may be gone, but he still feels pain. From Dr. Blank 205, subject SCP-547. In response to your previous email, subjects are unable to recall any previous experience in any emotional context and are completely incapable of subjective thought. I would like to suggest that due to the predictable behavior subject exposed to SCP-547 would make perfect control groups for any other psychohazards or cognitive hazards that we may encounter. Regards, Blank 05 to Dr. Blank. I would like subject D subject D alpha through gamma prepped for transport by 0700 tomorrow. You can expect more requests of this nature in the future. So yeah, they're going to use all the D class that got wiped to be now basically fodder for the other SCPs, because they won't know what I mean. They will understand pain once the pain happens, but they won't understand. So they would see a gun, and maybe they will understand what the gun is, but they wouldn't be scared of it until it shoots you in the leg. Then they would be like, oh, it hurts. But I think that's it. They just be like, oh, it hurts, and then just continue. They won't be scared of the gun. They will completely forget that thing just shot them in the leg and just continue whatever they had to do. Ooh, okay. This is a long name. I do like the idea that it just wipes your memory completely clean, and I think it was funny how like he just always had different names for himself, but I'm gonna put this above noise and below the notebook. It's a good one, but it's I do prefer the other ones more still, but I don't think it's lower than noise and living athletic system. All right, ice spider, another spider. The 500s have a lot of spiders. Shadow spider, ice spider. Now we have ice spiders. There's a lot of spiders in this one. Ooh, that's a cool picture though. Gotta say, that's pretty dope. Okay. Hey, another Euclid. Back to the Euclid train we go. The fifth one. is to be kept at a special containment procedure. SB548 is to be kept at a 24 degrees Celsius in a 50 centimeters square terrarium. The enclosure is to be composed of modified borosilicate glass with high thermal shock resistance or of other material not rendered brittle by sudden temperature changes of greater than 50 degrees. In the event that SCP-548 makes an active attempt to grind through the terrarium walls, the enclosure is to be flooded immediately with 500 milliliter liquid nitrogen and the subject removed temporarily to a reinforced steel terrarium. Subject is to be fed mice over every 4 days. One every 4 days. SCP-548 should not be handled except as needed for testing. Handlers must be at least cursorily familiar with tarantula behavior and wear heavily insulated gloves. Should subject display any aggressive behavior, cease handling promptly. If bitten, personnel should be treated immediately for hypothermia and frostbites. Active intrathoracic warming with heated fluids is indicated for severe bites. You know what? I would think that it would be interesting if this spider would ever become real in our lifetime. Like, maybe not in our lifetime, but who knows? Maybe like in like a couple hundreds of years, a spider that has the power to bite, to inflict frost damage might exist one day. You don't even know. Fucking animals are wild, dude. Like, the way animals have evolved throughout the years is crazy. And the amount of new animals and old animals that used to exist and now exist, fucking bonkers, dude. Like, I would not be surprised if one day a spider decides to be like, you know what, fuck y'all, I'm going to become frost damage. I'm going to have frost poisoning. I'm going to literally give you hypothermia. I don't care. Lives in the Alps or in fucking, I don't know, not Mount Everest. Yeah, no, you know what? Mount Everest just happens to live there, and every time when you go there, you have a chance to bump into one of these spiders and be like, oh, and then next thing you know, your arm is, you have hypothermia and frostbite, and you're up there in the mountain by yourself. No way to like treat yourself. There's no hospital nearby. The only way to get this fixed is by going all the way down again and hopefully drive. Who knows how long it's gonna take for you to get back down and find somebody who can help you out. Okay. Description: SB548 is a female cobalt tarantula, Cyropophagus lividus, 7.3 centimeters long. Its venom undergoes a highly endothermic reaction on contact with living tissue. A single bite, injecting less than 0.5 millimeter venom, causes an average temperature drop of 38 degrees in the affected. Oh my god! 38 degrees Celsius, like how fast? Like instant? Or like probably like over time, right? One bite is sufficient to cause localized frostbite in a human, and may even be lethal should the venom reach the central circulatory system. Victims smaller than SCP-548 are frequently frozen solid. Woo! Ooh. SCP-548's feeding structures are normally for a spider of its species, except for the maxillae, which are extremely hard and sedated. It feeds by delivering a venomous bite, then dragging the prey to a safe place while it cools. While secluded, it proceeds to grind the prey still frozen tissue into edible fragments. This feeding style requires unusual mouth pod strength. Addendum: SCP-548, like most Cyropophagus species, usually avoids contact with humans. If cornered, however, it quickly turns aggressive, attempting to bite its perceived attackers before fleeing. The object may be frozen solid with no apparent ill effects. It has survived repeated freezings, each time resuming normal behavior upon thawing. Further research is required to ascertain the mechanism of this resistance and to determine its suitability for long-term storage. I'm the type of person, I don't mind spiders at all. I think spiders are dope, and I personally, whenever I see a spider inside my house, I'm like, hey, you're taking care of the mosquitoes and flies around here, and I'll leave you be. But in the moment the spider's like somewhere else, like it's not in the corner of like the roof or the ceiling or in the corner where it doesn't bother me. Like in the moment it's like in the bathroom, it's like it's in the bathtub. I'm like, okay, buddy, I'm gonna help you out. Let me get some paper and let me lead you to like a place that's more your style. Not inside my apartment, like it's like outside, of course. But I just don't. I'm not the type of person who thinks that killing a spider is it. I think spiders are so. I'm so grateful for spiders because of all the flies and stuff they eat, and that I don't have to deal with afterwards. The thing is though, I think a tarantula would definitely freak me out. If I ever saw a tarantula in my apartment, which would, let's be honest, not be likely. Why my apartment? Like, why would it get this far down the city from the forest just to get in my apartment? But if I ever saw a tarantula in my apartment, that's when I would be like, okay, I have no idea what to do. I think the only thing you can do is lock everything, like windows, toilet seats, and then close the door. Call somebody to like actually professionally get him, and then put him somewhere away safely. But yeah, I don't think killing a spider is like the option. I think that's I'm very soft when it comes to killing insects. Like I don't want to kill insects ever, except mosquitoes, because fuck those bitches. I hate those with a passion. They love me too much and I hate them. But in Ibiza, for example, I'm gonna put a picture right above me. In my bedroom, I always have those motherfuckers, and they don't do anything to me. They don't do anything, but I don't like the idea that I fall asleep and a lot of times they crawl above me, like on the wall above me. And when they panic, because like you might just move a little bit and they panic crawl. When they panic crawl, they fall really quickly. So what I don't want is for them to fall on my body while I'm asleep. So I try to like do the typical like cup, paper, lead them out. But there was like one night where I had like 10 of them in the bedroom, and I was just so tired that I started to like actually like kill a couple of them, and I felt horrible afterwards. I was like, man, I don't want to, but you guys are constantly in my bedroom, and I'm past my limit, and I want to sleep. And until I get all 10 of you, and some of them were big too, so I was like, until I get all 10 of you out, it's gonna take me forever. But ever since, I still to this day feel bad that I killed 8 of them. I still feel bad. I don't like it. I just didn't like it at all. But I don't know. I didn't understand where they came from, because the windows were fenced. Like it has like the mosquito nets over it, so they couldn't come from the windows. And the ceiling was like a straw ceiling, so we assumed they might have come from the ceiling, like somehow like found like a hole in the ceiling and then like came out. But then we what is it called? Refurnished. I don't know what is it called. I forgot what the word is called. The ceiling, so now it's like blocked off. It's not a straw ceiling anymore. It's like a solid ceiling, and they were still here. So I don't know where they come from. Back to this. It's possible that the same anomalous effect that was historically responsible for SB2082 may not be affecting SB548. Research into this link is currently underway using SB2082 tissue samples preserved following incident 2082 prime. Proposals to assume the SB282 cloning program for use of a live specimen have been denied. Okay. The ice spider. Pretty dope. I'm going to put that definitely above the collection card, but not above the note. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to put it above the notebook. I think Ice Spider is cooler than the notebook. It is cool. It is definitely cool. Okay, last one. Ursa Minor. A Euclid. Okay, the last one. We got this. Hey, around 2 hours reading. That's always good. I think 2 hours is always a nice amount of time for these. Of course, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but 2 hours is always nice. Ursa minor. SCP-549 is to be kept at all times in its terrarium. The terrarium was created after previous containment provided to be insufficient. The containment, this is also the 6th? Yeah, this is the 6th Euclid. There were 6 Euclids, 3 saves, 1 terminated. Well, neutralized. The containment plexiglass is to be checked for fractures every day at 6 and 18 o'clock, and any signs of stress or wear are to be reported immediately to one of the SCP-549's handlers. The terrarium is to be kept filled with a miniature foliage and ground cover resembling that of Northwestern North America. Fabrication company redacted is to be used for repairs on the terrarium's interior. A stream has been engineered to run through the terrarium, the water of which must be changed daily, using only filtered spring water. The terrarium is to be kept within a 15 by 15 meter room, placed on a stable support platform capable of holding up to 2 metric tons in the event that SCP-549 begins to throw its weight around. Oh. Okay. I know that Ursa minor sounds. I know that word, those 2 words, but I don't know what it means again. It does sound. Wait, isn't Ursa a bear? Isn't an Ursa a bear? Okay. The containment room should be lit in accordance with the day-night cycle and climate controlled in accordance with the condition in northwestern Canada. During summer and autumn months, SCP-549 requires upwards of 70 to 80 calories per day in preparation for its that's a lot of calories for its hibernation period. Because of SCP-549's special situation, it is inefficient to provide the nutrition in the traditional means. What? So you can't feed him meat? It simply takes SCP-549 too long to consume that much material. Oh yeah, of course, because yeah, okay, 80,000 calories is a lot. There's no way you can force I guess it's a bear, force a bear to eat that much in in short succession. Currently, its diet is provided in the forms of salmon fillets, which have passed through redacted, thus drastically increasing the caloric content of the fish. Also, they have found some sort of way to make the fish either bigger or have more calories in it without maybe increasing the mass or size too much. In winter and early spring, SCP-549 requires little or no care, though monitoring should continue as per usual. Personnel assigned to SCP-549 must take all care not to disturb its den by any means. As a result of incident 72, that's a lot of incidents then. 72, the mauling of assistant researcher redacted by SCP-549, all personnel assigned to SCP-549 are required to watch security footage of incident 72 as part of their orientation. Okay, so it's kind of this is what happens if you don't be careful, okay? Look at it! Look at it! This can be you. If you don't be careful. If you don't be careful, this will be you. Okay, description. SCP-549 appears to be a miniature version of Ursus arctos horribilis, or grizzly bear. So, okay. It is a grizzly. It is a bear. Is that really? Okay, so Ursa was a bear, but what about the minor part? Is it because it's small? Also, is that really its official Ursus arctos horribilis? Really, you gave him horribilis in it? Rude. That's so rude. Imagine you have that name. You just Afro horrible Fluff. I'd be like, hey, mother, how about you don't? In stature, it is approximately 17 centimeters in length. That is tiny. When standing on its hind legs, however, SCP-549 has a mass in line with an average adult. So, oh my god! So it's this tiny, but it weighs the same as an average grizzly bear, in somewhere around 305 kilograms. Can you imagine? You want to pick it up and you're like, come on, let me just throw your back out, and consumes as much food as a full-size grizzly would, and is able to exert all the same force with its claws and bite. What? The same force? So even though it's still that tiny, the claw strike still hits as hard as a full-size grizzly. Are you shitting me? This presents a number of problems, since its strength is concentrated over a much smaller area. It's basically the Ant-Man effect, because the whole idea is that even though Ant-Man is the size of an ant, he still has the force of a grown human being in him. Which makes you feel like if you get punched by Ant-Man that size, it still hits you like a fucking normal punch. That must be so jarring. Like, you see this little boom. What are you gonna do? Oh, my glasses. Oh, you broke my nose. How? It consumes as much. Several of SCP-509's first enclosures were destroyed because it exerted far more force than expected of so small a creature. The walls of its current enclosure, treated with data expunge, have proven more able to resist any attempts to escape, though as long as it is fed regularly and not provoked, it seems content to remain in the terrarium. SCP-509 was recovered in blank Canada, along with several other miniature animals. Others? There's others? Though agents on site were unable to determine the cause of death for the others. Oh, okay, so they're dead. Yeah, it would have been kind of wild if they had to deal with like a miniature moose. Oh my god, a miniature moose with the same force as an adult. First of all, moose are fucking tall as shit. They're huge. And the idea of a moose with his horn attacking you, but it's the size of a goddamn, I don't know, toy truck. But it still has the same force. You get them flying, brother. For the others, SCP-509's dietary requirements suggest they may have died from starvation. Professor Blank theorized that SCP-509 only survived because it was in its hibernation state at a time when data expunged. Subject had a collar affixed similar to the other data expunged with the etched designation Ursa Minor. It's Dr. Wondertainment? It's you? It's you. It's me. Micromanage. It's you again. It's been a while since we saw your name on here. Several personnel were harmed in trying to remove the subject from a data expunge, mostly because of its great weight and strength. How SCP-549 seems to be of the same mass as a normal bear but occupying a smaller space is currently unknown. Dr. Blank believes that it might involve a warping of space-time rather than true shrinking. How physical laws have been circumvented is unknown, but tests are currently being formulated. And Ursa Minor is above ice spiders. Honestly, Ursa Minor and ice spiders are actually in the same category for me. But okay, here's the list of order of like which I preferred the most, which I enjoyed the most, basically, and it's just like all of like dopeness. Now, remember, guys, number 10 doesn't mean it's the worst thing. It doesn't mean it's bad, and number 1 doesn't mean it's the best SCP ever. It doesn't mean it's like perfect. It's just, in my opinion, which one I enjoyed a lot more in this number 10. In my book, every SCP is good. As long as you don't make it boring, you know, like if the moment like I can't find a way of having my fun with it or jokes with it, and it's just pure boring and I don't understand anything, that's when I'm like, okay, I don't like this one because I literally have no idea what to do with it. But yeah, so number 1 is Liquid Life Totenkinder. Number 2 is Herr Chirurg, then The New Voice, Tannenbaums, Ursa Minor, Ice Spider, The Notebook, The Cardassian Business Card, Noise, Living Thoracic System. That's the order of the SCPs from this 10 that we just read. And I enjoyed this. This 10 was probably the most fun I had in a while. I mean, let's be honest, there are some good ones. In the 500s are really good. To be really fair with you, the 500s have very good SCPs in it. So I have no complaints. And we reached the halfway point of the 500s. The next time we read, we'll start with the 550s. So yeah, thank you very much for watching all of this. I keep forgetting that I should say at the beginning or in the middle of reading that you should like this video and subscribe to me if you want to see more of this type of content. And I see you guys next time in whenever video I will make, either a reaction or a SCP video, the Afro's review.